At the end.
Good morning. Good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to the great riding of Mississauga East Cooksville and thank everyone for attending this truly historic announcement. I'd like to give a special thank you to the Minister of Transportation, Steven Del Duca, Metrolinx President Bruce McQuaig, Mayor of Mississauga, Her Worship Bonnie Crombie, Mayor of Brampton, Her Worship Mayor Jeffrey, City Councillors, Mayor Hazel McCallion, and my colleagues, Minister Sousa, MPP Bob Delaney, MPP Amrit Mangat. I cannot tell you how proud I feel to stand here besides the Minister of Transportation as he's about to make what is truly a very significant investment and announcement for our city. But I also want to take a minute to thank all of you, many of you here, who have been working for public transit for so long in Mississauga, the leadership shown by the previous mayor, the leadership shown by council, the current mayors, and city staff. I know so many of you here are here from the City of Mississauga's staff, and I'm sure from Brampton, who have really worked on this project, and so I want to thank you, a special thank you to the leadership of Bruce McQuaig, who's the president. The one thing that really impressed me about Bruce early on was at a time when Metrolinx was hosting a lot of town halls in Brampton and in Mississauga on various public transit issues, he would show up himself, and I was so impressed to see the president of Metrolinx coming to these grassroots town halls to hear straight up from our people what we thought of and what our cities needed in transit. So really thank you, Bruce, wherever you are, for your leadership. And now it is my special privilege to thank Steven Del Duca, who's not only the Minister of Transportation, but also my seat mayor. Steven, I don't often get this chance, but I want to thank you publicly for your friendship and for the great job you're doing, the damn good job you're doing as Minister of Transportation. So welcome.
Using the cameras.
Good morning, everyone. I want to begin by saying it's a real pleasure for me to be here back in Peel Region to share some wonderful news, and I want to begin by thanking Minister Demerla, my friend and seatmate, who is doing an extraordinary job, not only as the Associate Minister of Health and Long-Term Care, but of course as someone who is a true champion for the people of Mississauga East Cooksville. And she's 100% right. We are seatmates in the legislature. It gives us the chance on many occasions, both 905 MPPs, to talk about some of the challenges the people that we represent face on a regular basis with respect to their commutes. And I'm also, of course, thrilled that we have such a large turnout today from other Peel Region caucus mates of ours, from, as was mentioned, Charles Sousa to Bob Delaney to Amrit Mangat, and of course both of our municipal partners, Mayors Crombie and Jeffrey. So many partnerships involved in this undertaking today, and it's why we are able to continue to deliver some very good news. And I would say to all watching from Peel Region, you're truly blessed in this area because you have so many staunch champions advocating for and fighting for you at the caucus table, at the cabinet table, and at Queen's Park on a regular basis. One of the last times that I was here in Peel Region, specifically here in Mississauga, in my capacity as Minister of Transportation, was last November, early November. We were here to participate in the first opening, or a portion of the opening, of the My Way. And that was a fantastic achievement at that time for this community. And I was just saying to former Mayor McCallion, as I saw her downstairs, I remember that day. That was a great day. All levels of government there, very happy to be there. And as she was at the podium, she said to me, and don't forget about some additional projects that the City of Mississauga and of course the City of Brampton are looking for. And I was saying to her downstairs, see, we do listen at the provincial level of government.
Don't listen to everybody, Minister.
And I was thinking about how important it is for all of us representing people right across the province, to continue to demonstrate that government has a plan with respect to reducing gridlock on our roads and highways, and that working together, we can and will get it right. When it comes to investing in transit and transportation, both here in the GTHA and across Ontario, the people of our province want us to put progress ahead of politics, and they want us to deliver results instead of more rhetoric.
We want results.
And that's exactly what we're doing. Just last Friday, just last Friday, the Premier and I the Premier and I announced the launch of GO Regional Express Rail, a $13.5 billion plan that will transform GO Transit into a fast and frequent regional service, which will include a 50% increase in GO train trips by 2020, positively impacting all corridors. And in addition, we are already investing billions of dollars in many public transit projects across the GTHA, like the Union Pearson Express, the Eglinton Crosstown LRT, and the Viva Bus Rapid Transit System in York Region. As the Minister of Transportation, it's my responsibility to work with colleagues to make it easier for our residents to get where they need to go, both faster and safer. With congestion in this region at critical levels, it's obvious that more needs to be done. This is crucial in order to improve quality of life for our residents, but also to attract and retain investment, which in turn will create and sustain jobs. That's why I am so pleased to announce today that as a signature project under the Moving Ontario Forward plan, the Kathleen Wynne Liberal government has approved and is moving ahead with building the $1.6 billion Hurontario-Main LRT. With construction to start in 2018 and an estimated in-service date of 2022, this new LRT will bring 23 kilometers of rapid transit to Mississauga and to Brampton and will benefit the broader Greater Toronto and Hamilton area. This line is proposed to have 26 stops, including 3 stops within the downtown Mississauga city centre and 2 stops in downtown Brampton. This new service will move more people, and it will move them faster through these corridors when compared to existing bus service, and will connect commuters to key destinations in Mississauga and in Brampton and to other transit systems in the GTHA. All of this will help us lay the foundation for a vibrant, integrated service that will benefit both businesses and residents. By building a new light rail transit system that will serve the residents of both Mississauga and Brampton, we'll be offering more travel options and encouraging people to leave their cars at home. Today's announcement, and many that we've made recently and will continue to make, are all part of our plan called Moving Ontario Forward. Under this plan, we will be investing nearly $31.5 billion over the next 10 years in priority infrastructure projects across the province. In the GTHA, the government is investing in rapid transit projects that will connect to the GO Transit network and other transit systems across the region and help increase transit ridership, reduce travel times, improve mobility, manage congestion, connect people to jobs, and improve our economy. Our investments in new public transit and infrastructure projects will support over 20,000 jobs. Our government will continue to work closely with Bruce McQuaig and the team at Metrolinx that are doing an exceptional job, and I also want to thank them for their work, and we'll continue to do that work, and I look forward to many more great announcements in the weeks and months to come. It's been a thrill for me to be here with you all today, and now it's my pleasure to invite my friend, the Mayor of Mississauga, Bonnie Crombie, to say a few words.
Good morning, everyone, and I hope you'll forgive me if I'm grinning from ear to ear today. I'm just so elated. I'm so excited. So I want to thank our provincial partners who are here with us today for this very important announcement, including, of course, Minister of Finance Charles Sousa, Minister of Transportation Steven Del Duca, Metrolinx President and CEO Bruce McQuaig, along with Associate Minister Deepika Demirla, Amrit Mangat MPP, Bob Delaney MPP, and Harinder Mully MPP. I want to applaud Premier Kathleen Wynne and her government's brave, bold decisions that she's undertaken to enable us to build modern transit and infrastructure, and the Premier's steadfast commitment to create jobs and grow the economy. Finally, I'd like to recognize my colleague on Peel Regional Council, Mayor Linda Jeffrey, and my colleagues on Mississauga Council, Councillors Tovey, Ras, Fonseca, Mahoney, and Unica. And of course, our former Mayor Hazel McCallion. This announcement wouldn't be complete without her, and our city's corporate leadership team, who are all here in attendance today. Today's announcement that the Hurontario-Main Light Rail Transit Plan is getting the green light and receiving full provincial funding amounting to $1.6 billion is a real game changer for the City of Mississauga's promising future. The LRT will transform how our world-class city moves, grows, and thrives. It is truly transformational for our city. This new integrated transit plan will create jobs, generate new economic development opportunities, and better position our local economy. As we look to the future, some of the most pressing priorities facing Mississauga have to do with how people move, how we move people, goods, services, and ideas, and how we further grow and develop to meet the needs of new business, residential, and commercial investments. To give you a better idea of where Mississauga is heading, we have a $40 billion GDP and we're home to 60,000 businesses. In 2014, the city issued over $1 billion in building permits, and that's a 15% increase from the year before. Put simply, Mississauga is in demand, and we've only just begun. Over the next 2 decades, the region of Peel will need to accommodate over 30,000 people and approximately 150,000 new jobs, much of which will be based in Mississauga and in Brampton. Nearly a quarter of our growth that is expected to live here in the area immediately surrounding that Hurontario-Main corridor. We are planning new and important intensified developments consistent with the Planning and Growth Requirements for Mississauga in the Province's Places to Grow Act. But these development plans would not be possible without today's full funding announcement for the LRT. The 23-kilometer LRT with 26 different stops will connect residents from the Port Credit GO train station in Minister Sousa's Mississauga South constituency into Cooksville GO train station, and which is located in Associate Minister Steven Del Duca's riding. It will have 3 stops in Mississauga City Centre and unleash the potential of our downtown core, allowing us to finally build our Downtown 21 plan. The LRT will be linked to our MyWay bus rapid transit system here at the Square One terminal, and it will result in a more seamless travel experience for students to get to class at Sheridan College, Pelon School of Business, and enjoy a community festival at our Celebration Square, take in a memorable performance at the Living Arts Centre, or shop for premium brands at our Square One shopping centre. The LRT will then head north, connecting neighbourhoods throughout Mississauga and Brampton, and it will become that north-south spine of a regionally integrated transit system. Years of commitment led to today's tremendous announcement, and I'd like to single out, of course, my predecessor, Hazel McCallion, for being one of the strongest and most persistent voices to move the LRT forward. Mississauga has already funded $15.4 million towards planning studies, an environmental assessment, and the preliminary design work. Our 10-year capital plan includes another $25 million to help get shovels in the ground and get work underway. From the moment I was sworn in, I worked with our council and our CAO, Janice Baker, to arrange and meet with Premier Wynne, Minister Del Duca, and Minister Sousa, among others. At every turn, we pressed our case about the importance of funding Mississauga's leading transit priority. Metrolinx identified the Mississauga LRT as a leading rapid transit priority for investment, and we've always maintained one of the strongest business cases of any of the big move projects. Council ensured that the LRT was at the heart of our 2015 pre-budget submission to the provincial government, and I applaud all members of council and the team of professionals from the City of Mississauga who have worked for years to secure funding for what is the largest infrastructure project funded in Mississauga's history today. The Hurontario-Main LRT is an important example of governments partnering to achieve real and lasting results. I want to thank everyone for your unwavering dedication to help build Ontario's 3rd largest city into a more dynamic place to raise a family or open a business, earn an education, develop new skills, find a good paying, high value added job, start a business, or achieve unrivaled success. Together, Working together, we will build a stronger, more promising future for the people of Mississauga. And today, we write the next chapter of our shared history. This announcement will transform our urban landscape for a generation. Thank you very much. And now I'd like to welcome Mayor Linda Jeffrey of Brampton to the podium for some remarks.
So good morning. Not much I can add to what Mayor Crombie said. This is going to transform Peel Region and certainly the community of Brampton. And I'm pleased to be joined by my colleagues, Regional Councillor Michael Pelesci and Martin Medeiros, and my Chief Planner, Marilyn Ball. I know she's out in the crowd. This is really going to transform Brampton. It's going to open it up. Brampton is open for business. We're trying to attract a university presence in Brampton, and we want jobs. This kind of investment is not made lightly, and I certainly, as the Mayor of Brampton, don't take this investment lightly either. I appreciate the confidence that the Province of Ontario has demonstrated in this region, and particularly Brampton. These jobs mean everything. They are part of our future. They're part of the growth of a highly diverse, highly skilled community, and we're happy to share, and we will work with the City of Brampton. We'll work with Metrolinx. I thank the Chair of Metrolinx who came and saw me, I think, in the first couple of weeks of my arriving at the City of Brampton as Mayor. So my words are short. Thank you very much. Thank you for your confidence. Thank you for being bold. These are difficult decisions to make in a very difficult time to manage a budget, and I appreciate that the Minister of Finance is here, and I know he has a big day tomorrow, so I thank him for being here on Thursday, and I appreciate that he's here along with the colleagues from Peel. This is a great contingent to show their support for such an important historic investment in the region of Peel, most importantly the center of the universe, which is Brampton. Thank you very much, and I think I'm to introduce Amber Mangan. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mayor Linda Jeffrey. Today is a great day for Mississauga and Brampton, and this is a great news indeed. I'm sure you are excited and thrilled, and I know that the residents of Mississauga and Brampton are also and will be very excited to hear that the Hurontario-Main LRT would be running in 2022. Families, including in my own riding of Mississauga, Brampton South, will now have another option to get around faster and easier. As our mayors from Brampton and Mississauga said, it's a truly transformational. They're right. It will create jobs and it will strengthen our community. It's a win-win situation. And I would like to thank all of you for coming out today to be a part of this fantastic announcement that surely will benefit residents of Mississauga and Brampton South. And now I would like to welcome Minister back to the podium for questions from the media. A minister who works very hard day in, day out, from Windsor to Ottawa and Mississauga to Ottawa.
Happy to take questions.
Minister, you listed a number of investments in Toronto, Union Station, Eglinton across town, and I think those are very appreciated. Looking at the next 10 years, which is what we're talking about, the new money, the $16 billion, there's really very little left after this and the co-expansion. Is there going to be any of the 10-year plan, is any of that being spent in Toronto?
So I think it's important to recognize that, you know, throughout the campaign last year and throughout her time as Premier, the Premier, Kathleen Wynne, has said repeatedly, as we all have, that it's extremely important for us to build a seamless and integrated transit and transportation network right across the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area, which would include, of course, investments that will be made in the City of Toronto, that will be made in 905 communities, that will be made in Hamilton, for example, at the same time as taking into account that we had begun the work on building that integrated transit network before last year's campaign. Since 2003, the Ontario Liberal government has literally invested billions of dollars, much of which has flowed to Toronto and to the GTHA. So for example, In the 416 area code, $5.3 billion for the Eglinton Crosstown, $1.48 billion committed to the Scarborough Subway project, $870 million flowing from the province to the Toronto-York-Spadina subway extension, most of which falls into the City of Toronto. The Union Pearson Express, this list goes on, $416 million for Toronto streetcars, Presto enabling. There's a long list of projects that we have funded and that we will continue to fund in the 416. But it's important, and I say this as someone who's lived in the GTHA his entire life, it's important to make sure that we don't get stuck on what I'll call municipal boundaries. If we're going to build a network, if it's going to be integrated, and if it's going to work for the people and the businesses and the economy of this entire region, we have to worry less about municipal boundaries, and I say that with respect to the municipal partners who are here today, and we have to worry more about what's important for the people of the region, and that's what we're going to do.
So there will be money left for the downtown relief line?
So the downtown relief line continues to be in the next wave, the Metrolinx's next wave. There are a number of projects that remain on that list, and I said last Friday, when the Premier and I were in Barrie to announce the $13.5 billion transformative GO Regional Express Rail plan, I did say that day we'd be coming back to the people of this region and sharing good news. Today is an example of that. I anticipate over the next number of days and weeks we'll have more to say about plans and projects that will be going forward. But I also did say last Friday, when you look at the next wave and the list of the next wave projects, various projects sit in various states of readiness. So this is about making sure that under Premier Wynn's leadership, we make the investments that make the most sense to deliver the greatest return, to ease the commute for the people of this region, and to continue to unlock our economic potential, and that's what we're going to do. So stay tuned for more details.
So the $1.6 billion is all funded by the province?
So the province is committing up to $1.6 billion to fund this project at this point in time. We're going to keep working with our municipal partners. We're also going to take a look at the possibility of whether this would be eligible for any federal funding support. Never going to say no to money when it comes to help us support our transit plan, but we are committed to the $1.6 billion, and we are going to build the Hurontario-Main LRT.
on the word transformational, because this is a different kind of transit for places like Mississauga and Brampton. So I wonder if you can elaborate on what this means in terms of transformation for your cities.
So I don't think we've ever seen the likes of this here before. It is truly transformational to our landscape and to moving people, connecting people, not only people but goods and ideas, as I had said. The other iconic investment that had been made would have been the Marilyn Monroe Tower some years ago, an architectural landscape change. But this is a different kind of change because it's all about connection and moving people and goods. And I think it's something that we have been working towards funding for a great many years, and we're just delighted today that it's finally become a reality. It will give people options in forms of, we're encouraging them to get out of their cars, take public transit, and this is yet one more option to ensure that we help reduce gridlock, we help reduce the congestion and give people options to leave their cars.
And I guess I would say I want to build on what Minister Del Duca talked about. This is about integration of all forms of transit. The province made some announcements last week that are transformational in that they're going to double and quadruple the kind of trips we get on GO service. We as mayors need to work with other mayors and building on what the Minister spoke about, that regional conversation about all-day two-way GO that we're talking about with the Kitchener-Waterloo-Guelph line, building that innovation hub. That's what we're working on at the City of Brampton. And we know that where you build transit, jobs and economic development flourishes. So we're thinking about how we can be supportive of the decisions that the province makes, but we're in this together. This is a transformative investment that has us thinking beyond municipal boundaries, beyond municipal elections. We're thinking of a vision of what we want this region to look like, and I appreciate that Kathleen Wynne has stepped forward and this government has stepped forward and our partners with municipalities for the first time in a very substantive way. Thank you.
If I just want to add, Tess, that I think Minister Del Duca and Mayor Jeffrey have just said it, and I said it in my remarks, this is really the north-south spine of what we are calling a regionally integrated transit system, looking beyond our borders and looking beyond our boundaries. Just in the same way we're acting as a region when it comes to the GTMA, looking for foreign direct investment into our region, and I think this will help grow our economy, create jobs, and attract new businesses here, as well as investment.
A couple more questions?
Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
I'll just follow up on that one last question in that same vein, if I may. So I just want to make sure I understand correctly that the investments that have been announced or are already underway in Toronto, that's all that will happen in Toronto over the next 10 years?
No, that's not what I said. And it's actually with respect, it's a little bit unfair to categorize about $10 billion worth of transit investments as that's all. I think when you look at what we've done over the last 11 or 12 years, what we will continue to going forward is build out, again, that seamless transit and transportation network. That will include the work that's already underway in the 416. It will include some projects that are already underway in the 905 and will continue to be underway in the 905. So we're not going to stop. The work will continue. There will be more good news to share in the weeks ahead. I look forward to participating in more of those announcements. But today is great news, not just for Peel Region, but for the entire GTHA. And I'm thrilled that I was here to share it with all of you. Thanks very much. There will be additional announcements coming with respect to transit investments across the GTHA. So stay tuned. Thanks very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Steven, let's just get the announcement here. We'll do a little pull-up.
Everyone together?
Now, can I bring counselors in as well, please? Team, leadership team.
On that side?
Let's all get close together. Okay. All in.
Can I step in front of this camera here? Yeah. Are you still? I'm not going to get you. Okay, can I step in front of there, please? Sorry.
I don't know.
Sorry to whoever this is. Okay. And there we go. Okay, I need everyone to squeeze a little bit.
The podium's
All right. All right, that's good. Everyone looking right here, right at my hand. Personal training course right there. Thank you. Right. Just maybe just chat for a few seconds for the video cameras. I can remove the podium if you like. No, I'll leave that for me.
All right, I think we're done. Right, Mark? Okay.
Any more photos?
Perfect.
Rob, you got a photo?
Let's go. We'll just mark.
Rob, you got a photo?
Okay, we're all good?
You got it?
All right, guys.